So, what does it actually mean to be a good citizen in the world we live in today? The answer to that question is changing, and it's changing really fast. We're not talking about just memorizing facts from some old dusty textbook anymore. We're going to dive into a pretty critical upgrade for civics education, one that's all about getting a new generation ready for the complex, super connected world they're about to run.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to tackle the why this change is so urgent right now. Then, we'll get into what it even means to be a citizen today. From there, we'll look at the practical stuff, how civics is being brought to life. And then, we'll face a huge one, navigating all the dangers online. And finally, we'll look at the big picture. What's the ultimate goal here?
Okay, first things first. Why is this upgrade so incredibly urgent? Let's get right into why the old way of teaching this stuff, well, it just doesn't cut it anymore. And really, this is the question at the heart of it all. This isn't just some academic thought experiment. This is a conversation happening with real urgency in schools all over the place. So what's driving it?
Well, the answer is pretty clear when you look at the world around us. It's like a perfect storm of these three massive forces. You've got technology changing at lightning speed, a world that's more interconnected than ever, and social problems that are just messy and complex. In that kind of environment, just knowing how a bill becomes a law, it feels like you're bringing a history book to a fight with robots. It's just not enough.
So, if the world has changed this much, then it stands to reason our whole definition of a good citizen has to evolve too. This isn't just about a simple checklist of your rights and duties anymore. It's about something way more active and dynamic.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that shift. We're moving from passively learning the rules to actively participating. We're going from just accepting information to critically taking it apart. And our focus? It's zoomed way out, from just our own nation to understanding our impact on the entire globe. It's a total transformation.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how these pieces are weighted. Modern citizenship is built on these three pillars, but look at the biggest one by far, active participation. That tells you everything. Doing is the new learning. Of course, action without thought is just noise, which is why critical thinking is right behind it. And that global awareness piece, that's what gives it all context. This is a complete shift to a model based on skills, not just facts.
Okay, so that brings us to the million-dollar question. How do you actually teach this stuff, right? How do you take these big abstract ideas and turn them into something real and meaningful for students instead of just another boring lecture?
And the answer, it's actually pretty simple at its core. You make it real. The whole idea is to create tangible, hands-on, interactive experiences. It's about doing, not just reading about it. This is where the rubber really meets the road.
A mock election is just a perfect example of this. Students don't just show up and vote. No, they live the entire process. They have to research the policies, get into actual debates in the classroom, run the election, and then, and this is the crucial part, they analyze the results. They figure out why things happened the way they did. It's such a powerful, hands-on lesson.
And this isn't just something locked away in a classroom. The whole goal is to connect what's happening in school with the community outside. So, yeah, you might have a student council with a real budget inside the school. But you could also have students running a real-deal recycling program or campaigning to save a local landmark outside. It's all about closing that gap between learning and having a real impact.
But of course, you can't talk about being an active citizen today without talking about being an active digital citizen. And let's be honest, that means walking through a minefield. In a world with nonstop information coming at you, building that online resilience, it isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a flat-out survival skill.
And listen to this quote from our source material, because it really just hits you with the scale of this problem. AI can create deep fakes and disinformation that is so convincing at a scale we've never seen before. This isn't some problem in the future. It's happening right now, and it's actively tearing down trust and pushing people to extremes.
So what's the defense? How do you fight back against this? Well, it's all about equipping students with a whole new kind of toolkit. This means teaching them how to take apart harmful stories, how to spot propaganda, and how to understand the way algorithms trap us in echo chambers where we only hear things we already agree with. It's not about being cynical. It's about developing a healthy skepticism so you can find what's true for yourself.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. With all of these changes, what's the end game? What is the ultimate purpose of completely reinventing how we teach citizenship?
And what's so telling is how you even measure success here. Forget standardized tests. The focus is on developing skills and values. And you measure it by watching students in a debate, by looking at their presentations on local issues, or by reading their journals from community projects. You're measuring growth as a person, not just what they can remember for a test.
And that, right there, that is the whole point. It all boils down to one simple, powerful word: empowerment. It's about giving students the tools and the confidence to not just understand the world as it is, but to get out there and actively shape it for the better.
So, I'll leave you with this. After seeing this whole evolution, from passive learning to active engagement, from a purely national focus to a global one, how would you define a good citizen today? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.